And I will be hearing arguments to try and determine the best quarterback in this year's draft. So for today's session, it's called Making the Case. Everyone out there, you guys, you right there, you're part of the jury. You're helping me. You're going to hear the arguments, and you will vote on Twitter at GMFB, and then I will speak for you and present the winner. I am so ready to hear the first argument. Peter?
Justice Adams, you look lovely as always.
Thanks. Thanks.
Get on with it.
I hope your birthday was tremendous. I enjoyed that show.
You played a big role in that.
You were great. Look, I represent USC quarterback Samuel Darnold, and I want to ask you a question, Justice Adams. Do you remember where you were on January 2nd, 2017? Do you?
I don't.
I'll tell you where my client Sam Darnold was. He was in Pasadena, California, in a little game we call the Rose Bowl. He was in front of a national television audience, millions and millions and millions, and he was busy throwing 5 touchdown passes in a 52-49 win over Penn State in the freaking Rose Bowl. It was the most touchdowns a player has ever thrown in the rich history of that game. He is a Rose Bowl champion, and he has Rose Bowl history to his side. That's what he was doing on January 2nd, 2017. It has been 471 days since then. And for the past 471 days, Sam Darnold has been the assumed #1 pick in the NFL draft. And in that time, 471 days, he has been the expected #1 overall selection because he's never had a horrible game. He's never had a dumb tweet in that time period. He's never been arrested. He's never been captured doing something silly on TMZ. He's never thrown a teammate under the bus. He never had a dumb moment. He never made a knucklehead play. He never beat he beat Josh Rosen head-to-head. He beat Stanford twice. He won a Pac-12 title. Woo! And he's gotten universal praise from every single coach that has ever met him, every single coach that's ever coached him, every single player that's ever played with him. And guess what? He was the best quarterback in college football that day, and he is the best college football quarterback coming into the NFL draft today. Want me to take the high road here? Because I can.
No.
Or do you want me to take a little different road?
Yes.
Yes!
As my judicial duty, okay, I have to go
You're just doing your job.
a little below the belt here. Because Sam Darnold would never do that, all right? But I will. Because that's what we do as attorneys, all right? You know what they say in law school? High roads. Where lawyers go, there are no high roads. Made that one up. Back to the Future reference. That's it.
Joke.
All right, look. While Sam Darnold was fighting tooth and nail and putting up 52 points against Saquon Barkley and Penn State, one of the other guys being discussed for the #1 pick overall put up a whopping 3 points against Iowa.
Ooh.
Hey, Wyoming. And while my client rallied USC to a double overtime win over Texas, that very same guy on Wyoming completed less than 40% of his passes in a blowout loss to Oregon. It must be nice to play on 2 nationally televised games, lay complete eggs, and still be the belle of the ball. But I digress. How about the other guy we're talking about? The little guy. Look, I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be a heightist here. Okay. But
Objections? No objections there?
I'm
You're
sorry.
the short one,
I'm sorry. You're gonna take a 5'11" quarterback first overall? I mean, look. Maybe he's 6 foot on his best day, but there is a long history of guys under 6'1" who have made a difference in this league. So long that I can count them on 3 whole fingers. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, and Doug Flutie. And trust me, none of those guys were going in the first round, all right? The Heisman is nothing to sneeze at, and I respect the hell out of everything that Baker Mayfield has done in his college career. But this is the NFL, not the CFL. And this is any given Sunday, not Rudy. Look, it's a fun story.
He called Baker Rudy.
It's a nice story to get from that little guy, but I'll take an actual sized NFL quarterback. Thanks. As for Sam Darnold, let's see what they say about my client in the press.
Okay.
His offensive linemen absolutely love him. Oh, that's a horrible thing, too. He's a blue-collar guy. All right, I mean, yeah, okay, really poking holes here. 3, he's the safest pick of all the quarterbacks.
Boring.
Yeah, because when your entire career as a general manager and head coach is banking on this one decision, safe is not what you want. 4, he flew back to throw at Ronald Jones's pro day a couple of weeks ago. Again, a great teammate. I don't know, maybe I'm into that. Lastly, his father was the actual Marlboro man. It's true. Google it. His father was the Marlboro. That's good stock right there. Look, his name is Sam Darnold, and for 471 days, he has been the #1 pick in this draft. He hasn't done anything to tarnish that. He hasn't done anything to change that. And no one has come in and usurped him and done some dazzling thing. He has just been himself. Justice Adams,
Yes.
it's not rocket science. It's football. He's been the best all along. He will be the best in the pros. Don't overthink this. Sam Darnold, the #1 quarterback in this draft.
Submitting all those press clippings and the evidence. And what's weird is the bailiff, Axe, didn't even give me a file. There's no priors. There's nothing bad. There's really nothing to poke at him. It's a safe, reliable selection. Well done.
Yeah. Safe, reliable. More lawyer jokes.
I'm here for it.
My favorite part was this.
Do it.
It's like a swashbuckler.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Hi.
Below the belt. That's what we're doing, huh?
Oh.
Every time you've held that gavel,
Yeah.
I had to hold nail. Not today. Not today. I'm coming with it. Now listen, I am representing the best quarterback in this draft, and that's Baker Mayfield, okay? And I'm just going to come right out the gate with it. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Listen, you know who had the single highest season passer rating in NCAA history? Who? I'll wait for it. It was Baker Mayfield. This past year, with a rating of 198.9. You know who had the second highest single passer rating? And you see that dog pound headband right there?
Oh, subtle.
It was Baker Mayfield. That's #1 and #2 all time, okay? But listen, the representation for Sam Darnold, Mr. Peter, I'm a hater, Schrager, doesn't like numbers, so fine. I'll move on. I'll move on to the guy representing Josh Allen, Kyle Brandt, the only guy who considers himself a trophy husband. Ew. Hell yeah. Now, speaking of trophies, never mind. That's too easy of an argument. Okay, now listen. All right, let's talk about the big guy, Josh Allen. Okay, yes. Baker Mayfield is undersized compared to Josh, Mr. Big, but in certain situations, size doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm talking about football situations, that is. All right, now listen. Listen, we see strong arms all the time, but what about the footwork? I once heard that it's not the size of the boat, nor the motion in the ocean. It's whether or not the captain can stay in port long enough for the passengers to get off. So this is what I'm saying.
Talk about it!
Baker Mayfield can extend the play. Stick with me, Kay.
She gone.
He can stay in the pocket longer than your broke friend who doesn't want to pick up the tab. You know that dude. That's Baker Mayfield in the pocket, just sitting there negotiating when it breaks down. And what's this? I'm hearing about a cantaloupe farm. A cantaloupe farm? Who cares? It's not even the animal. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? What in a cantaloupe farm? The honeydews get loose? Oh. Cantaloupe. Well, listen, if you're married to the idea that these two quarterbacks are better than Baker Mayfield, you cantaloupe. Now take that. Now let's move on. All right, let's move on to Sam Darnold. Okay, Sam Darnold, yeah, he's talented, but he's safe. I mean, to me, that sounds a bit boring. You know what I'm saying? Now, yes, I like to ham it up for the crowd. My guy, Baker Mayfield, loves to ham it up for the crowd. But teammates actually love it, right? And the ladies, the women call him honey baked ham. Now, here's a little Dr. Seuss rhyme for Sam Darnold. Okay, at USC, I was the man, but I did not go ham, Sam, I am. All right, listen, the coolest thing about him, and actually Schrager up here giving his argument, it's not even his father, it's his grandpappy. Yeah, Dick Hammer. I'm going to leave that alone. Now, listen, Grandpa actually played basketball at USC, and he was an Olympic volleyball player, part-time actor, as we know, Marlboro Man. That's a man's man. You know what I'm talking about? Like, really, how is Sam Darnold going to live up to that? There ain't no cowboys in Southern California. You kidding me? So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Whoa. Actually, smoking is bad for you, so take these baked goods. It's better for your system. Offensive system, that is. So in closing, the choice is yours. You could either end up with a headache or end up with the headband, like my guy represents, and like these guys. LeBron knows what's up. Drizzy Drake knows what's up. Kanye West knows what's up. And from Cleveland, Drew Carey knows what's up. Arsenio Hall knows what's up. And you should know what's up. And that's all I got to say about my guy,
Let's go.
Mr. Baker Mayfield.
Let's go. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Nate Wilson. Where's Peter? Yeah, there he is.
Wow.
Oh, I'm cackling back here.
I take this very seriously. Justice Adams here. We will now hear the argument from Kyle Brandt on behalf of Josh Allen, he of Cantaloupe Farm fame.
Vile Brandt, Nate. That was my actual garbage pail kid. Wish I was kidding. Your Honor, I do represent Josh Allen, the glorious jewel strung on the necklace of the 2018 draft. But first, why don't we talk about his competition? Baker Mayfield. Did you know he was accurate in college? Did you know that? It's one of those little-known facts. Drake was in Degrassi, Bill Murray doesn't have an agent, and Baker Mayfield completed a high percentage of passes. Here's a fact that I like a little bit better. When judging quarterback prospects, you know which barometer doesn't have a lot of accuracy? Accuracy. Come on a journey with me. Why don't we look at the list of some of the all-time most accurate college quarterbacks? Stop me when we get to Canton, if you don't mind. Right out of the gates with a couple of Colts. That's a strong start. We, of course, have Baker Mayfield here at 9. Oh, no, wait a second. That's him down at 11. 11. We have to go down to 12 with Teddy Bridgewater to get to any quarterback who has played in a Pro Bowl. He played in one as an alternate. Yes, Your Honor.
Submit this full screen into evidence. Thank you.
Submit into evidence. That's 12 guys. We call that the Baker dozen. Now, do not forget it on draft nights. And then there's Sam Darnold. Your Honor, what can I say about this young man? I mean, really, what can I say? I have no idea what to say about Sam Darnold. Where do you go? Should I say that he's so safe that in this case, drafting a Trojan feels even safer than using one? Should I go to Darnold is going to be the first player to fail his physical on account of not having a pulse? Maybe? I mean, I'm hearing he wanted to do his pro day in the rain just to prove his latest system upgrade wouldn't short circuit. I mean, he's not just West Coast, he's West World. Fly lands on his eyeball, he doesn't blink. Or maybe he's True Detective, bad second season. But really, it's like the guy's perfect. He's almost too perfect. Your Honor, I looked through his entire Instagram story, and I'm calling BS. There's something kind of Dexter going on here. With, all right, 20-year-old dude, 20 years old, family pictures, childhood pictures, John Wooden quotes and Nelson Mandela on a 20-year-old's? No way. This is a front. This is fake. Whoever drafts Darnold, make sure to plug him in at the half so he can charge. All right? You don't want him to go too low on batteries. His head will start spinning. But let's talk about Josh Allen, Your Honor. The guy who Daniel Jeremiah says, this is a real quote, is like scouting narcotics. Josh Allen is a hell of a drug, ladies and gentlemen. But maybe if you're the Cleveland Browns, you're thinking, well, he lost to Iowa, he lost to Oregon. Did he really? Or did Wyoming football lose to those guys? Funny thing about those Wyoming teams, Your Honor, Landry, Gordon, and Garrett were not on them. You know who was? Probably guys whose first names were Landry, Gordon, and Garrett. I think that's who was out there that day. You want to know the most impressive thing about my client, Josh Allen? It's not the size. It's not the arm. It's the fact that he has never lashed out and said, yeah, of course, Baker completed a bunch of passes. His four-star wide receivers never dropped one. He's at Oklahoma. He's never said, I'm sorry, I don't have the charmed USC life of Sam Darnold. His grandfather was the Marlboro Man. My grandfather was a Marlboro Man. He's never done that. He doesn't do it, but with the football, this man can do it all. And in closing, Your Honor, the top talent with the top ceiling should be the top pick. Sam Darnold in the state of Ohio, he hears Ohio and state in the same sentence and just completely passes out, forgets who he is, forgets where he is. And Baker Mayfield, the Allen family farm has grown cantaloupes bigger than Baker Mayfield. I'll tell you right, we've discarded them. It is Big Josh, and we've already printed the poster. You take Mayfield and Darnold, I will take farmed and dangerous. Cleveland, you got yourself King James. Now go get Prince Farming. That is it, Josh Allen. That is your guy. Prince Farming. Farmed and dangerous with a melon, with produce.
Give me a...
Exactly. He's going to produce with produce. That's it. Josh Allen.
This is making the case.
Whew.
This was one for the books.
This is a good
All
one.
three tremendous
Who
performances.
you got?
The cases, they've been made, but now it is up to you. We're putting up a poll right now at @GMFB. It's up to you right now. Go there and vote on who made the best argument. You have 1 hour to vote. Best quarterback in this draft. We'll reveal the winner at the end of the show.
Yes.
Like Dancing with the
Laps.
Stars.
Yes.
All laps.
Love you, Colt McCoy and
All
Colt
laps.
Brennan.